What's good, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. You already know, it's your host, Bando. Back at it, we are here to talk about UFC 325, go through the review, talk about the things that happened, talk about some performances, some things that we want to highlight. So, let's get right into it. Let's waste no time. Let's smoke. So if you watched my breakdown, you knew that I wasn't super hip to majority of the early prelim fighters. I knew a couple guys in the prelims, but I didn't really know too many people in the early prelims, so we're not going to really get in a big discussion for that. But I do want to highlight one fight from the prelims, and that was Jacob Malkoun's performances. Fantastic performance. He was fighting clean. His boxing was on point. He was throwing with bad intentions. It was just a great performance. I don't know if he got any type of bonus. I think everybody gets a bonus now, but I don't know if he got like a fight of performance or anything bonus. But he he was fighting his ass off. He did really well. Was throwing really good punches. Cam Ralston had a good performance too. I think it was just his second performance in the UFC against Cody Brundage, a guy that we know has the strength for wrestling. And he defended any wrestling that came his way. Ended up getting a finish. I mean, fantastic hands. The kid's sharp, tall, lanky. I mean, he's able to do a lot of things to utilize the reach and stuff like that. So, very interesting to see some more from him. It was a good win. Definitely a good win for him. Junior Tafa versus Billy Elicana pissed me off because Junior Tafa got so close early on, was really putting the pressure on him, man. Was swinging some good strikes. Obviously, they're light heavyweights, but he used to be a heavyweight. He knows what it's all about when it meet in the middle, stand and trade, go for the knockout. And he went for the kill early. Unfortunately, he couldn't get it done. Elicana ended up winning by submission in the second round. I was pissed. I was sick because Junior Tafa was on one of the parlays I had. He was one of the first legs. So as soon as he lost, I'm like, damn, because he was so close, bro. He bum rushed him right in the first round, right off rip. I was sick. All right, so we'll get right into the main card. Killen Saw Killed versus Jamie Mullarkey. It was one-sided as can be. One round, it's all he needs. This kid is the truth, okay? Southkill is the truth, right? He has got power in his punches. He's got good striking. He's got good kicks, and he's got good work on the ground. He's dangerous. You're in one of the best divisions in the world, right? One of the toughest divisions in the world. So for him to come on and continue to put on these performances in the toughest division, pretty sick. What I noticed is he's very clean, and he's also not in there playing any games. He's not fooling around. He's in there going straight for the kill. Every single time he's going straight for the kill, whether it's on the feet, whether it's on the ground, he's going straight for the kill. So I give him a lot of props. I think a lot of us, as he grows as a fighter, we're going to grow with him. I think a lot of us are going to end up becoming big fans of this kid because he is the truth. And whenever you're watching somebody that's got everything, right, the whole nine, then it gets really interesting to see. When you got every aspect of the game on lock, it gets interesting to see. Moving on to Tai Tuivasa and Talison Teixeira. Remember in my breakdown when I originally went with Teixeira, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to switch up. I'm going with Tai Tuivasa. Well, I was wrong on that. I should have just stuck, sometimes your gut feeling. Go with the gut feeling. Your first guess sometimes might be the best guess. And, I felt like, here's the thing. When I switched up, I thought about it. I'm like, all right, you know what? Ty's been off, right? Ty's had some time off, good time off. I'm sure he has, one, let the chin recover. Two, got himself in better shape. Three, maybe worked on some of the holes in his game. No, No, it's like the three X's in what is that? Is it Family Feud? You get three X's. Yeah, that's what it was like. I mean, dude, just what pisses me off is how do you have this much time off and you come back to your first fight and you damn near miss weight as a heavyweight, right? You're 0-5 in your last five. Now 0-6. Now you are 0-6. I mean, it's either take the fight game seriously or you got to go. And in my personal opinion, like, the reason I switched over is because I'm a fan of Tai Tuivasa. That's why I said, you know what, I'm not rocking with Teixeira. I'm going with Tuivasa. I'm a fan, and I think that's what all of us are, right? We're fans of seeing him. But, dude, you don't take the game seriously. There's no way you take the game seriously. If you had that much time off, you didn't learn how to defend a takedown in that time period, right? This man has never been able to defend a takedown. His takedown defense is terrible. His cardio, awful. And the fact that you almost missed weight at heavyweight, pitiful. Right? I fuck with Tai Tuivasa. Funny dude. Was putting on some exciting knockouts for a little while, but I think it's time for the UFC to cut ties. If we're being honest, bro, you look at those two in that octagon. That's really the top tier of the heavyweight division? That's the top tier in the heavyweight division? I mean, come on. It's like just the back-to-back performances between Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, like, those both were retirement performances. Those both are performances if you don't need to be doing this no more. I mean, Derek could always have a chance, always have an opportunity to come back, get a knockout, something like that. But Ty's looking like it's just a wrap, right? You were gone that long, came back, and that, no. And he had moments, too. I think that's what really pisses me off, too, is he has some moments. But right off rip, he bum rushed him and got taken down. It's like, dude, does anybody sprawl anymore? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like back in the mid to late 2000s, fighters were sprawling a lot more on takedown. I feel like guys don't sprawl anymore. I feel like guys just kind of, oh, you got my legs? Okay, I'm gonna go down with you. Like, I feel like guys they give no resistance when it comes to the takedown anymore. I feel like some guys just go straight to the ground, and we'll get to that when we get to Dan Hooker. But we are on to Rafael Fiziev and Mauricio Hufi. Man, look, I thought Fiziev was going to come out and take this one. I thought Fiziev in the striking realm was going to have the more powerful strikes, higher pressure, more pace, and he kind of did, right? He did high pressure, a lot of pace. Didn't look the best. I feel like Fiziev hasn't looked the best since his first loss to Gaethje, but didn't look the greatest, but he still put the pressure on him. He was throwing leg kicks, obviously something you got to do against somebody like Mauricio Rufy, who's worked the legs. He is fantastic when it comes to the legs. But Rufy the whole time, right, both rounds was snapping off his jab and keeping that right hand back. I mean, he might have thrown it a couple times, but he wasn't bringing it out often. He was keeping it in the arsenal, in the back pocket, waiting for the moment, because the jab was landing. He could have set anything up from that jab, right? As soon as you're throwing a jab and it's hitting, snapping your opponent's head back, you have an opportunity to follow up with something. No matter what it is, you have an opportunity to follow up with something, right? So continuously landing the jab. And you know, you keep seeing Fiziev working the leg kick, working the calf kick, and it was working. It was doing damage. If you looked at Mauricio Hufi's calf, it was swollen, it was red. It definitely was doing damage. But here's the thing: he was focused with the hands. He was just jabbing through. It wasn't even the legs that brought Mauricio Rufy to the W this time. It was the hands, and they were clean, just very clean, very technical. Fiziev tried to test him. Fiziev tried to put him put him up against the cage, back him up, kind of make it a little gritty. You know, threw a couple fancy kicks, not crazy fancy, but some spin kicks, some different kicks and stuff like that. And they're both flashy when it comes to throwing kicks. They're both quick, but I just think the setup that Mauricio Rufy was setting up was perfect the whole time, because he was setting up from that jab immediately from the first round. And the thing about it was he's landing the jab, right, and he wasn't following up. And you sit there and you're kind of like, damn, why are you not following up? And then all of a sudden, boom, and you're like, oh, okay. Now I see. Now it makes sense. And I got to give him props, too. Once he saw that Fiziev was hurt, man, he swarmed him. He swarmed him. He went for the kill. That's how you got to be. You hurt somebody, you got to swarm them, right? You got to be confident that you're not going to gas yourself out. You got to just be confident that you're actually going to be able to get that finish, right? And I think a lot of guys could if if you do it the right way. And it's hard to say. The adrenaline's going in there. What exactly is the right way? You got to be a little bit smarter. You got to put the pressure on him and pick the strikes. If you look at all the strikes that Hoofy was landing in that sequence, right at the end when he was getting the finish, like he was landing his shots clean. He wasn't throwing wasted punches, throwing all over the place while Fiziev was moving on the ground trying to roll out. No, he was landing shots that were doing the damage that needed to be done to get the finish. Great win. Great win. I mean, I might have to do a breakdown after this. Not even a breakdown, but might have to do an episode of matchmaking because the lightweight division, man, there's just so much. There's so much you can do. So many people have been winning recently. So many people have been fighting recently. Right off rip of 2026, we got a lot of different action in the lightweight division. A lot of other guys that are talking that want shots, that want, different fights, want top 5, want top 3, want, number 1 contender shots, whatever the case may be. It's such a stacked division. So I think I got to play matchmaker in the next episode. But moving on to my biggest disappointment of the night, Dan Hooker. Dan, like I said, man, Dan doesn't make adjustments. Dan is the same fighter. From start to finish, from last fight to this fight, he is the same fighter. He's going to bring the same style. He's going to bring the same things in the arsenal. He's never going to switch it up. And when you talk about lack of resistance to a takedown, Dan Hooker in that fight against BSD was exactly that. Not saying that I'd go in there and be stuffing these takedowns, right? But as a person on the outside looking in, right? We're the ones that are watching. And in a way, we're judges too, right? We might not be sitting at that table up there, but in a way, we're judges too, right? We come up with the same different stuff. We break it down. Who won this fight? How this one? All that kind of stuff. We are basically judges as well. So when you see a guy who has lost multiple fights on the ground, you would think in his camp somewhere, takedown defense would be a major part. Negative. It was not. Sorry about that. Hey, the Cavs got the W. Good work. But it was not. It was just as soon as BSD grabbed his legs, he went down with it. And what really pissed me off was when BSD got that mount, it literally looked like Luke Rockhold versus Chris Weidman. He was just sitting there taking the shots. Right? I just don't. That performance pissed me off so much. And yes, I had Dan on the parlays, but trust me, my parlays were completely chalked after Tai Tuivasa. Completely chalked after Tai. I thought, man, Tai might be able to come back, get that first round knockout. I could throw that on. No, nobody. No, nada. But yeah, Dan would have fucked it up anyways. I did have BSD on a couple of them. I had him by submission on one of them, but of course the parlay was already cooked. But it's one of those things where, like I said, BSD, if he came in with the blueprint that was written by these other guys that have taken Dan Hooker down and submitted him, you're going to get a submission too. And that's exactly what he did, right? You go fight Dan Hooker's fight, probably going to lose. And anytime he was trying to fight Dan Hooker's fight, Dan was landing some decent shots. But like I said, Dan just doesn't make any adjustments, doesn't change anything up, keeps the same flow the entire fight. Unless he is really whooping your ass and he picks up the pace, it's the same thing. It's the same continuous strikes, the same. It's repetitive. And like I said, no takedown defense. No takedown defense. Yo, we're in 2026 now, right? 80% of the UFC is like wrestlers. right? Or at least trying to crack the code into the wrestling realm so that they have that in their arsenal too. Takedown defense is major in this game, right? I'm sick of seeing guys just, it's one thing if you get taken down, you were fighting it and you still got taken down. Like you see when Max was fighting Ilya and Ilya shot. Max was fighting that. Max has fantastic takedown defense, top tier takedown defense. But Ilya picked him up and put him on his back. Sometimes ain't nothing you could do, right? Nothing you could do. A lot of guys come in, they feel like they're prepared to go against a guy like Islam or Khabib, and they can't defend a takedown. But the worst part is when you see a guy not even try to defend a takedown. Not even look like there was a slight attempt of trying to defend a takedown. Those are the ones that piss me off the most. And listen, I understand strikers are strikers. You want to be polished on the feet. That's fine. You got to put the proper work in. I understand that. But when you go against a guy that you know is sharper than you on the ground, you should also put a decent amount of work in at least the takedown defense and then getting up. Those two things. Scrambles. All defensive stuff. You don't even have to work submissions. You don't have to work offense. You don't have to be shooting, doing takedowns. Nothing like that. Just defensive techniques for the takedowns. And you have a better chance of winning a fight. Instead, just dropping down like it's nothing. Moving on to the absolute shutout in the main event. Great performance by Volk. Volk did exactly what he needed to do. It wasn't much different than the first fight, except for the fact that Volk was never really in terrible trouble. Landed good shots, landed the jab, doing the leg kicks, moving a lot. The crazy thing is, I said it in the breakdown, the crazy thing about Volk is he's short, but he has that long reach, and he knows how to utilize that long reach, and he did that very well. Right, he knows how to keep the distance. He knows how to maintain his distance. He knows how to control the pace. He knows how to make adjustments. He knows how to do so much. The IQ of Alexander Volkanovski is absolutely top tier, like max level in MMA, and that's why I think people hype up Ilya. So not even hype up. I shouldn't even say hype anymore because Ilya is not hype. Ilya is the truth. I think the thing behind people getting so hyped with Ilya is, think about that. You see Volk, how dominant he is, how many shutouts he's pitched against top tier fighters, right? He is Randy Johnson in his prime. Like, third fight with Max, shutout. Fight against Yair, shutout. Fight against Korean Zombie, shutout. First fight against Diego Lopez, besides him getting rocked in the second round, pretty much a shutout. This fight, complete shutout. And I did hear Diego Lopez broke both of his feet. I don't know when. I don't know what point of the fight he broke both of his feet, but damn, okay, that does play a huge factor. It plays a major factor. You kind of need those things. But I think either way, perfectly healthy or not, Volk wins that fight 9 times out of 10. I just think he's got the number. He's got the IQ. He's got the adjustments. I thought Diego Lopez was going to put a lot more aggression into that first round. I thought he was going to show no respect and kind of just rush him. No, he didn't. He showed a lot of respect, stayed patient, which maybe that was their game plan, to try to stay patient because they knew they might end up having to go 5 with Volk. And they did go 5 with Volk. And the toughest thing to do in that game, in that division, is to hang 5 rounds with Volk. So for Ilya to get him out, I mean, it might have been perfect timing after the Islam knockout and everything like that, but just for the fact that it even happened, shoots Ilya's career even higher. But still, Volk is the king of the featherweights, right? I mean, if Ilya was fighting at 145 right now, you fought. I mean, still 37-year-old Volk. I don't know. Still kind of old. And Ilya hits like a truck. There's nothing you can really do about it. But fantastic performance. Every aspect of the performance, fantastic. Mixed up the game well. Alexander Volkanovski is absolutely top tier. You don't get the nickname the Great unless you back it up, and he absolutely does that. Who's he going to get next? Obviously, we know it's between Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev. To put something in perspective for you guys, Diego Lopez has fought 2 title fights. Okay? Not a bunch of fights. I think he's fought about 5 or 6 maybe, but 2 title fights since his debut against Movsar Evloev. Evloev has fought 2 times, period, since then. And that's the man that's calling for a title shot. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
I got Lerone Murphy in that fight when we come around to that. So just remember I said here, Lerone Murphy is going to beat Movsar Evloev. And he is going to be the number 1 contender for that featherweight strap. And that is going to be one hell of a fucking fight between those two. And so that's it for this episode. UFC 325, not as good as UFC 324, but it was pretty decent. The Sydney crowd was definitely behind Volk. You heard that, no doubt, right? They definitely were behind Volk. So it was a good night, decent night of fights. Good win by Volkanovski. Now we have to go a few weeks of kind of just some decent ones. Just a couple of decent ones until we get to the BMF championship between Charles and Max. It's like every year I got to do a breakdown for Charles when I'm just like, ah, damn, fuck, you got to fucking fight Max. Damn, fuck. And you over here just in his training camp just swinging and banging with his training partners, bro. If you point to the ground, I swear to God, I'm going to jump through the TV screen and knock your ass out myself with, fuck, don't do it. Please stop. Don't do it. I'm not going to knock him out. I couldn't if I tried. Just. But. No, I'm kidding. Thank you for watching this episode. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. And I'll catch you on the next episode. Like I said, I'll probably do like some sort of matchmaking episode from the guys from 325. But potentially, I might just do like a matchmaking episode and make like some sort of breakdown of a chart tournament, like tournament style for the lightweights. Because lightweight and welterweight could both have kind of like a tournament style like bracket going on there if I wanted to make one. But either way, like I said, I appreciate you guys for watching this episode. I'll catch you on the next one. Your boy Bando is out. Peace.